Hello? It's not working. Hello? Can you guys hear me now? Please let me know if you can hear me now. Okay. So the issue is I have a new iPhone 16 Pro Max, and so I haven't had this set up on my live stream yet. This is the first time, and so it had to recognize my Blue Yeti microphone, and it just popped up as Mo said that. I went into it, and it said, "Please clarify that you're using a Blue Yeti microphone." So unfortunately, I didn't do that. So sorry about that. But anyway, what I was saying was that my shirt's all messed up. I was saying that whenever I first sat down, that's why I was adjusting my shirt. I can't get the undershirt to sit right because I was just, yeah, it's pissing me off right now. Anyway, there we go. A little better. Not really. But anyway, what I was saying is that today we have a few fragrances to talk about. Obviously, the one I just did my review on today, my first impression, which is Dior Homme Parfum 2025. That review I filmed yesterday, so I can tell you a little bit about it. My scent of the day today is Le Male Le Parfum, and I'm going to finish out the day wearing this, is what I was saying, because my wife wants me to wear it tonight again. Um, and I'll let you guys know a little bit more about that in just a second. And then I'm also going to be talking about right now. I just got home. I took my daughter to the urgent care. She's not feeling good, and we had to get some doctor's notes for the next 2 days. And on the way home, I decided to stop by Von Mar, which is kind of like a Macy's. And I stopped by there and sprayed on Dolce and Gabbana Devotion on this hand. And then also Gucci Guilty Love Edition, I guess is the name. And I already tried them out the other day, but I wanted to have them on for this live stream just so I could tell you guys a little bit about them. So we're going to be talking about those today. And then again, Angel Share Paradise. If you haven't seen my review for that, Angel Share Paradise, it smells like Angel Share. If you removed like that real cinnamon bun drink, if you took away the cinnamon bun part of it, it still has cinnamon in it and it still smells like Angel Share. But it smells like if you made a true flanker of Angel Share, where it really just takes the Angel Share DNA and on top of it, it adds this kind of like tart raspberry, almost like a raspberry cake like thing that you would throw on top of Angel Share, and then a slight like tropical vibe. I don't know what it's coming from. I couldn't tell you, maybe like a tropical floral or something like that. But overall, it just smells like a slightly fresher, more wearable, more mass appealing. Even though Angel Share is super mass appealing, it smells like almost like a fresher, semi more wearable version of it because it has that raspberry and something else that's providing a little bit of a tropical tone. The way that I told Ross the other day is it almost reminds me of like if you took a small piece of Kajal Icon and threw it under the Angel Share DNA with raspberry. That's what the fragrance smells like to me, and it's very nice. I'll wear it. I think it's gonna like be an 8.5 to an 8.8. Really, really good fragrance. But yeah, that's Angel Share Paradise. Let's get through the chat, and then we'll get to the rest of the stuff. We got Joel, who is the new moderator on my channel now. Scent of the day is Electamus Oster. Nice, man. What's going on, Traffic? Scent of the day is Tom Ford Noir Extreme, one of my favorite vanilla fragrances. And hello again, Joel. Oh, that was the same thing. Scent of the day. Oh, there's John Carlos. What's going on, man? Scent of the day is Fragrance World Affogato. Never heard of that one before, but what is that one cloning? It doesn't sound like anything that I would even. I'm trying to think of a name that like affogato would, but I don't even know what that means. Let me know what that is cloning. What's going on, Mo? What did you choose? Did you choose the gochujang or did you choose the honey sesame? Because I don't think Ross knows what spicy gochujang is, but spicy gochujang paste in Korea, if that's what you're talking about, is almost like what they use for all of their Korean barbecue, and it's absolutely amazing. So I hopefully that you use that. If not, I mean, honey sesame you can't really go wrong with. But we were talking in Ross's live stream. He was deciding on what he wanted to make with his stir fry. For me, the gochujang paste is the best. What's going on, Austin? Austin Aromas. What's up, my great smelling dudes? Get your balls in a good position. Who's that? Curly, right? All right. There's all the no sound comments, so I know where I'm at. Trying out Gucci Love again. It's fairly nice. Sits between myself, EDP, and Parfum. I don't get that. This shirt is bugging the shit out of me. I'm almost about to take it off. I hate whenever I sit here and I have a sweater on and then the undershirt shows through. Not that you guys give a shit. So I'm going to pull it all the way back and hopefully it sits there fine. But I hate when that happens. Anyway, uh, it's all right. He'll just do it all over again. Yep. I'm just glad that Mo said something right away and then you guys caught on because if not, I would have been pretty screwed for about 10 minutes, right? What's going on, Patrick? Scent of the day is Spice Bomb Dark Leather. I know, I heard you like that one. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it smells okay. It's just I won't buy it because it doesn't add anything to my collection. It doesn't add any like additional facets that I want to wear on a daily occasion because there are specific fragrances that smell in similar realm of that I just like better. And so that's why I just will never wear it. It's actually it wasn't the service. It was Verizon. I got a new phone through Verizon, and AT&T is actually really small in Pennsylvania, especially Pittsburgh. But yeah, it was the phone. It was just it wasn't connected to my Blue Yeti yet. I'll tell you guys just about that in a second. Here, Mike Tyson, I hear you. What? Traffic. Oh, that's for traffic. Um, Fit check fire. It's fire, Mo. I love the match, but and I like the undershirt. It's just it's not sitting right, and I hate it. You know when you put on an undershirt. So this is my matching undershirt. It's a Lacoste shirt. It's just not sitting right, and I don't like that. And I'm bringing more attention to it than it needs. But whatever. Repping Lacoste, I see L1212 EDP is good. Yeah, I have so. This year, I'm doing a lot of designers, and I sat with Lacoste all year. I got 3 polos for the summer, and then I got this. I got this in blue, and I got this in forest green. Um, and then I got matching hats for each one. And then I just moved on to Boss, and I got myself a Boss hoodie and a Boss sweater that are in collaboration with the Steelers. So it has a Steelers logo, and then underneath it says Boss. It's like the most comfortable hoodie I've ever purchased. And then my wife also got me a blue Lacoste hoodie, like a Pacific blue, like dark blue, and I got a matching hat for that as well. So it's been a good year for my clothing line for sure. Thankfully, it got to the 40s today and stopped feeling like Antarctica, right? It was like 38 degrees, yet the rest of the week was like 14. But I'm definitely right there with you. What do you think about Killian Ginger Dash? I've only tried it one time, and when I tried it, it wasn't anything that blew me out of the water. It was a good smelling fragrance, but nothing that really warranted a purchase for me. I don't want to like go through a whole review because honestly I don't remember it that much. I just remember thinking that's nice, but there are a lot of ginger fragrances that are better than it. That was my only thought on the fragrance because I was trying it. Was it Saks or Nordstrom, somewhere like that? I love myself EDP. I love myself too. I don't know why. Myself EDP smells really nice. It's a candied citrus mixed together with kind of like that myself DNA with the tonka and the aromatics. I mean, can't really go wrong. And then you have that orange blossom. You just have to like orange blossom. If you don't like orange blossom, you're not going to like that most likely. But I really like orange blossom. It's one of my favorite white florals. I like the creamy white florals. I like that. I like Lily of the Valley. So yeah, that's why I really enjoy that fragrance, especially the Parfum too. Says Paradis has Bulgarian rose note. You didn't know. I don't really get much rose, so it doesn't have that jammy rose and raspberry style fragrance. A lot of people ask me that already. I don't get that. The rose again, there is a slight floral tone to it, but it doesn't come off like rose. It comes off almost like a tropical floral. It's the only best way I can put it. Is there's just a slight tropical vibe to it. It really feels like if you made angel share and mix it together with a little bit of raspberry and a little bit of like a tropical fragrance. It's what it smells like, and then it kind of works its way in to the dry down, which is comes off like angel share with a little bit of fruit underneath it. It's what it smells like, and I think it's good. I think the original angel share is still a little bit better, but hey, it is what it is. Scent of the day is if I can click on it, Aaron Terrence Hughes Addicted. That's one that I haven't tried. My favorite from him so far is it Maverick, the plum one. I really like that one. Paris Corner. I saw a Paris Corner. Fuck it. Somebody got real mad at me like 2 weeks ago. They were like on a video that I posted like a year ago, where I was actually joking around, and I even said in the video, me and my moderators made fun of myself for saying I didn't know how to pronounce Paris Corner's fragrance, so I called it Refuck It, and so I just went along with it. I thought it was funny, and someone got real mad. You need to learn how to pronounce it. No, I don't. I don't really. No, no, I'm having fun with it. Um, is 2014 Dior Homme Parfum compliment getting? I don't comprehend the hype. I don't comprehend the hype either, Gordon. I think the Intense is better, but those two fragrances, there's a reason why they don't sell them outside of like the Europeans and that style of fragrance, that lipstick makeup iris mixed together with the rose and the oud, like that is not the style of fragrance that is mass appealing. And so the people who really are fanboys of the Dior Homme Parfum, they are usually the ones that are the niche lovers, the ones that are really into the artistic form of fragrances, or they're the type of person that usually doesn't have like a significant other in their life. Because I have tried Dior Homme Parfum to wear it in public about 6 or 7 times, and every single time somebody has told me they don't like it. My wife, my mom, my daughter, somebody at where was I? At my daughter's something. It was another one of my wife's friends, and they were just like, no, it doesn't smell very good. It's very powdery, and it just doesn't smell good. And so, while I understand why people love it, but it's not something that I would recommend to like on a top 10 list or something like that for wearability. It's just not there. The Intense gets closer because they add more of that ambrette and cacao. It brings off this like chocolatey vibe, but it still has that lipsticky iris. This one, the 2025, it goes way away from that. And I do want to talk about that, and I'm doing a video this week about it, so I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. But what's up, Sun Devil? Latafa Hamra. Can't go wrong with that. Hopefully you're having a great day. Gabriel's scent of the day is Prada Luna Rosa Ocean EDP. You didn't put the Luna Rosa Ocean or Luna Rosa. Prada Luna Ocean. Prada Luna Ocean. I was trying to read that wrong. But hopefully you're having a good day. Good scent choice as well. You mentioned Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. Yeah, so again, I'm going to get to the bottom of the chat and then I'll start talking about the fragrances. I went into Ulta the other day and Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. I didn't know this, but so Jeff from SoCal Sense said you need to try out the new Devotion by Dolce & Gabbana. I went into Ulta and I saw there was two Devotions and the testers were almost empty. I was like, that's not right. I was like, there's only supposed to be one Devotion, and it just came out, so the testers shouldn't be empty. Well, then I found out that the new Dolce & Gabbana Devotion Pour Homme, which means for him, that wasn't in the Ulta, and it's kind of like the other side of the coin to the women's, but they're the exact same bottles. So the women's does have two Devotions, the EDP and the EDP Intense. Both are vanilla fragrances. One's a vanilla floral and one's a vanilla amber. So do not get them mistaken. This is the Devotion Pour Homme, and it's in that same bottle, but the liquid is gold. And so you need to make sure that it's the right one. So just wanted to give you a heads up. I'll tell you guys about how it smells in a second. What's up, Michael? Polar Red Extreme, one of the best coffee fragrances. I'm actually going to be mentioning that in a second. So I will get back to that in just a second, Michael. What's up, dude? Hopefully you're having a great day. I went with the spicy. Awesome. You did right. You definitely did right. Affogato is a coffee scent. We have a lot of coffee going on. Vanilla ice cream, espresso, coffee, rum, benzo, and ooh. That sounds like it's cloning something. Vanilla, coffee, ice cream, espresso, coffee, rum, benzo, tonka. That sounds like something to me. Is it Acro Awake, maybe? I don't know. It sounds similar. My scent of the day was Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. My scent of the night was Dunhill Fresh. You're smelling good today, HP. Tarek, what's going on, man? How would you rank CAHS VPH and Missoni Wave? So I'm guessing That's Cashy. And Versace Pour Homme and Missoni Way, from your favorite to least favorite. So honestly, it all depends on the situation. My favorite to wear out of the shower is the Versace Pour Homme because it has a little bit more of that citrus freshness. Also, I like to wear that more in the summer than the other two because of that citrus freshness. The Missoni Wave, I like to wear that for random going outs, like if I'm going out running errands and stuff like that. Bang for your buck, Missoni Wave is by far the best one, in my opinion. But at the same time, you can find the Versace under retail for 40, $50 anyway. With that said, the highest quality and the best smelling out of all of them is Cashy. It's just for the price, I would never recommend Cashy over the other two because they smell so similar. It's just the Versace Pour Homme adds in the extra citrus, while the Missoni Wave is a little bit more, almost a little bit more. It smells like a sea breeze mixed together with a little bit of creaminess. And so they all smell and have that similar DNA, while the Cashy is going to have more of the vanilla, sandalwood kind of mixture. So I'm going to go best smelling is Cashy, best bang for your buck Missoni Wave, but the one that I wear the most is Versace Poro. That doesn't help. If I had to say go purchase one right now, it would be Versace Poro because it's the best price and you get it has the best seasonal value out of it. But the best smelling, if the price wasn't an issue, Cashy for sure. The more you adjust it, the more it doesn't sit well. Oh, I fucking know, dude. Stop bringing it up for the first time. It's because I'm looking at a camera and I'm looking the wrong direction. That's what it is. And so if I pull it back like that, there we go. See, I'm touching the wrong side. It's just bugging the shit out of me. If you guys just joined, my undershirt is just not. I'm going to try to pull it from underneath my shirt. It's sitting to the left, and I hate when that happens. It's not doing it. It's not doing anything. Anyway, I'm not I'm not thinking about that anymore. What's going on, Chris? White and black, really nice. Smells like a fresher Leighton, even though people say it's not a clone of Leighton. It has that same vibe. Really, really nice. Doesn't have as much of a mentholic vibe though. It was 74 in Tampa. Well, I definitely am jealous of you. Affogato kind of sort of smells like Mancera More Cafe. Oh, okay. That makes sense too. Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum smells like an old man mothballs. I don't like Explorer Platinum. I know a lot of people do. I don't hate it. It just that kind of it has a little bit of a petroleum smell to my nose. But yeah, I get what you mean, the old man mothballs. You were joking, but at the same time it kind of does. But a lot of people do like that. But it does have that more grown up feeling to it, like more vintagey vibe. I get what you mean. I don't own it because I'm not a big fan. Need to get the scoop neck. See, Patrick, this one usually sits perfect. I have all of my undershirts are mostly Abercrombie and Fitch because those ones they do not stretch. They literally are the best undershirt. There's a reason why Abercrombie's stuff is so expensive, and I figured Lacoste would be the same. And this one has been doing pretty well, but it's just not sitting right today. I don't really give it. I don't know what to say about it. Zara the Most Wanted Parfum, one of my favorite go-to store in the cold weather. What's going on, Mikey? Uh, what's up, Randy? How you doing, Ricken? How you doing? Is it Ricken? Ricken J? Some of the days Banana Republic Midnight Hour. That one's really nice too. Banana Republic has so many cheapy gems. Every time I tell my fiance I'm wearing why I sell myself, she giggles and said, "Why I sell myself, Mo? You're talking to the right person because this guy here, if I can click on his name, I can't. There we go. Mo. Whenever myself came out, Mo was coming up with all the lines, like feeling myself. This really is making me smell like myself. Like he was always saying uh, jokes about the myself fragrance. So yeah, it was a weird name for sure. Oh, Randy, definitely need to try Addicted then. A fruit and chocolate angel share DNA. Who's that by? I don't know if I've heard of it. Not sure. But if you let me know who makes it, I'll check it out. Or fuck at the Randy special. Screw the pronunciation snob. Yeah, I hate the pronunciation snobs. I mean, it's like if you wanted me to be a pronunciation snob, I'd be like Yves Saint Laurent, like for YSL. I because that's technically how they say it over there. Um, and there's some really weird pronunciations that I just can't get to. I want to see how far behind I am. Uh, I'm gonna. If I skip anybody, I apologize. Just retype your comment. Look up Devotion Pour Homme, and they already had a whole devotion line. Yeah, it's crazy. Starting in February, I'll be revisiting fragrances from my vast collection I have not worn for a long time. New Year's resolution number one. LOL. My New Year's resolution number one is my wife makes this buffalo chicken dip that she makes for every Sunday for football season. I said I'm not eating it anymore. I just I feel so gluttonous when I eat it. Um, I have a high metabolism too, so it doesn't really help, and I have a thyroid issue, so eating that just does not help. Carlo, oh, that's for Giancarlo. It does. It has that like effervescent smell to it. That's the one thing. It has this brightness. It's like almost like a salty sea breeze mixed together with a little bit of like an effervescent Sprite mixed together with that DNA. It has like this creamy vibe to it as well. What's going on, John C? Hopefully you're doing well. Order Parisi Taroni. That's one I haven't tried. I've tried a few Order Parisis in the last few months. Bergamask sucks. What's going on, Kevin from Lakeland, Florida? Hopefully you're doing fantastic today. What's up, Nova? I agree. Missoni is like a manly soda. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I could have put it that way. That I mean, that's now that you say it, it didn't really spring in my mind Sprite or soda, but now that you say it, yeah, it has that effervescent vibe. Just got back from Ross's stream. How's it going, Matthew? Hey, it's going well. Just jumped on here. I'm gonna be watching football in about a half hour, so I am gonna jump off there. I'll jump off here in a half hour, so around 8:40 ish. But it's going well. Hopefully, you're doing well. Any other niche houses or indie you're excited to try in 2025? I don't have anything specific because I mean any of the indie houses that I really explore into. I know Theodoros Kalatini's is one that I'm starting to check out. They have a coffee fragrance called um, Coffee Addict that I tried out, and it's the best coffee fragrance I've ever had. If you're looking for a strict coffee fragrance, like one that you smell like you're going into a Starbucks or an espresso bar, that's Theodoros Kalatini's, and it's Coffee Addict. So I want to check out that house a little bit more. Outside of that, there's no houses that really jump off the page and say like I need to try it right now. I haven't really put any thought into it though. Um, but that's one. That's definitely one for sure. Is the new Devotion Pour Homme worth it at retail? Let me get to the bottom of the chat, and then I'll start talking about it. Sorry about that. It's cool. I knew Ross usually ends the stream at 7:45, but today he didn't, so I figured I would just start. Oh well. Let's get it. Not let's do this. It's let's get it. Scent of the Days on Watch Interlude, Black Iris, and Bois 1920, Dolce Di Giorno. You got some good fragrances going on there, man. I'm not a huge fan of Amouage, as everybody knows, but you got some interesting fragrances, let's just say. Me, myself, and I, yeah, that's the kind of thing that he was saying. All right. Is Born in Roma Intense worth a blind buy? I enjoy those notes. Um, is it worth a blind buy? It's a super easy wear fragrance. So if you like the Born in Roma DNA, like the Valentino Born in Roma Yellow Dream, if you like that style of fragrance, then you'll be fine buying it. It's just a like kind of like a thicker and richer bubblegum style fragrance that has some vanilla floating through it. It's almost like they took all of the fragrances in the line and just mashed them into one. So I mean, if you're okay with that style of mass appeal, then yeah, it's a very easy wear fragrance. It's just it does smell like other things mixed together, and there's other fragrances it does resemble. But of the Valentino Born in Roma line, it's one of the best ones. So you wouldn't go wrong with it. You have to like that vanilla slash bubblegum style fragrance though. If you like those styles, then it would be an easy blind buy. But I mean, they sell them in every Macy's, Ulta, Sephora. So take a 5 minute ride, 10-15 minute ride if you have one near you, which most people do, and just try it out. In my opinion, I would blind buy it, but that's your call. For sure, Andy. If your description of Killian Angel Share Paradise, there's a good chance I'll get this. So I've heard a few other people don't get the tropical vibe as heavy. They get the raspberry and they get the freshness. So a lot of the reviews that I or reviewers I've talked to after that have tried it, they had something similar to say. It's just some people got the tropical vibe a little bit higher. Some people got more of the raspberry and no tropical vibe. So you just have to put that into context. But if you like the original Angel Share, you definitely need to try it out. You just can't smell Bergamax up close. Yeah, I wore that one to work. I sprayed it one time and I was like, yikes. I tried to give it I held my hand away from me, tried to let it dry down, and I smelled it again. I was like, nope, not doing that. My wife thought across the room, she's like, I don't know, it smells okay to me. So maybe you're right about that, but I still ain't wearing it. Blaine, you can call me talking to Blaine. Uh, I have Theodore's Calatini's Velvet Chocolate, and it's amazing. Coffee Addict is amazing as well. So Velvet Chocolate, I would need to try. Um, just watch your Dior Homme Parfum 2020. You might have just convinced me to buy it. Well, let's just get into that. I think we're at the bottom. Yeah, we have 3 more comments. So I bought Born in Roma Intense last year. Smells good, but I almost never reach for it me either. Because I have other fragrances, and it's just not one that I reach for over. I love the original Born in Roma. Everybody can convince me otherwise. That is the best one in the line. I love that fragrance. It doesn't smell like any of the other ones in the line, but I do have to say the Intense is very nice, and I do reach for it if I'm going for something else. Then that would be one of them. But I do have 400 and some fragrances, so it's hard to come back to the same fragrance. Thought I'd swing in and pop it in for thank you, Sarah. Scented Paradise. Just the support. I really appreciate that, man. What's good, Jason? Send the days of Argos Adonis Awakens. Nice. Last one. Velvet chocolate smells exactly like Trader Joe's dark chocolate truffles. See? It smells it sounds like it smells similar to Montal's Chocolate Greedy. With that said, let's get into these. So I'm going to go with the ones in my hands for. Oh, the first question that was asked was about this. So we will get into this. So now that I have worn this once, and I'm going to wear it tonight, what do I think of Dior Homme Parfum 2025? Well, I already know what's going to happen. So I just had a comment on my video from today, and the person was saying, people are going to be so disappointed in this because they're just looking for something generic, and that's all Francis Kirkjohn is doing is turning this generic. And I commented back to him, and you guys could go look at it. I said to him, all right, so this is the way that it's working. I'm guessing you're a fanboy of the original Dior Homme Parfum, because there's going to be 2 sides of the coin here. There's going to be the people who are fanboys of the original Dior Homme Parfum, which usually factor in to those niche centric people, the one that like the more artistic fragrances. They're not really looking for that mass appeal, which, I mean, they say mass appeal, and a lot of people go, oh, cool. Or a lot of people, the Dior Homme fanboys and the niche heavy people, always usually pair mass appeal with generic. And mass appeal doesn't always mean generic. There is generics out there like Invictus and like a lot of those bubblegum style fragrances that are out there. You could technically nowadays call blue fragrances generic because there's a lot of blue fragrances out there. But I digress. As I was responding to him, I said, there's going to be 2 sides of it. There's going to be the people in fragrance community, which I already know in the fragrance community, this is going to be lopsided. People are still going to really like the fragrance or like the fragrance over the people who don't. And the people who don't are going to be the ones who really like the original Dior Homme Parfum because it doesn't smell like it. It doesn't have that artistic presence where it's more of a, I guess you would say, situational fragrance, where you have to have that situational awareness where you're fine wearing it for yourself. It's not going to be as mass appealing. It's not going to be. It's a situational fragrance for sure. That's the original Dior Homme Parfum, and for people who love that, this one doesn't smell like that. Dior Homme Parfum, I said it doesn't. This isn't generic. It does have aspects of other fragrances that are more mass appealing, But then there's going to be the people who like mass appealing fragrances, which fragrances are made to be mass appealing. I understand the artistic side. I have a few myself. I lean towards more designers. I always have, because I only wear my fragrances for myself and for my wife. And so if my wife likes it, which she hates Dior Homme Parfum, every time I've tried to wear it, she does not like it. I sprayed this on in Ulta, and I sprayed it on my hand, and she goes, "Wow, is that Ultramall?" I said, "No." She goes, "Kind of smells like Ultramall, like but like a little spicier and powdery." And I don't really like that. I was like, I wasn't planning on buying it, but you know what? Now that you said the Ultramall thing, I'm gonna wash it off my hand, and I'm gonna buy the bottle. I'm gonna go home, do my first impression, and see what I get from it. Well, I got home, I sprayed it on, did my first impression. When I first sprayed this, it has that Dior Homme vibe, but it really has like the woodiness from the original Dior Homme 2020. But then you mix that together with, I don't know, like Prada L'Homme Intense, Valentino, and the Uomo Intense, those kind of like designer style iris fragrances, not including the Parfum and the Intense from Dior. It has that more mass appeal iris. The iris does dissipate after a while, but after a few minutes, you can smell there's this sweetness in it. And I've heard people compare it to La Mole Parfum, Most Wanted. For me personally, and for my wife, which I do have to say, what really convinced me of the fact that this really does have this ultra malt undertone. My wife does, she sucks at picking out fragrances like that I'm wearing. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? There's always three, two or three. There's Wanted by Night, Ultra Malt that she can always pick out whenever I'm wearing it. And when she said that smells like it has at least a little bit of ultra malt in it, I have to like I have to agree with her. It does. It has this sweetness, maybe not the pear and the fruitiness, but there's definitely this mass appealing sweetness that Francis Kirkjohn threw in with this kind of abated iris designer style iris fragrance, but then they just amped up the woods and spice. I do get some vetiver in the dry down, but the fragrance really just it reminds me of one of those Givenchy's or Prada L'Homme Intense. I keep saying Prada L'Homme Intense because that's really what it reminds me of, because that has some sweetness and depth. This has sweetness and depth. So take Prada L'Homme Intense, add some woods and spice, and then have this ultra mall like sweetness underneath it. And that kind of like just stays there for almost the rest of the fragrance for about 5-6 hours until you really just get to more of like a spicy woody vetiver. It's an ambery overtone, which really adds to that Ultramall S DNA, and the amber it really does pop forward. They removed the rose, they removed the ode, the oud. They removed all of that, and it just really it's a mass appealing version of Dior Homme Parfum. They should not have called it Dior Homme Parfum. They should have just called it Dior Homme 2025. But I'm guessing they're probably planning on coming out with a Dior Homme 2025. It's just the parfum is what's pissing people off, I think. With that said, it smells great. It's going to be a hit. And so, like I said, those people in the fragrance community that are going to hate this are the artistic style ones, the niche heavy people, the ones who love the original Dior Homme Parfum. They're going to be pissed off about this fragrance. The rest of the people, and then the 99% of people who are not in the fragrance community, this is going to be a hit because it's that it has that masculine woodiness. It has that iris that does lean um, out of the fragrance after about 45 minutes to an hour to where it's almost non-existent. It's a little bit powdery, but not overly powdery like the lipstick style ones. And then you have that sweetness that to me comes off like ultra malt. To my wife, it comes off like ultra malt. To other people, it comes off like something else. Make your own decision on that. But if you were looking to say, hey, I'm not going to get this like I was because it was supposed to smell like Dior Homme Parfum, this does not. It does not smell like Dior Homme Parfum. It does not smell like Dior Homme Intense. It doesn't smell like either of them. It has that designer iris. It has some sweetness. It's mass appealing, and it smells like nothing else in the Dior Homme line that you've ever smelled. And so go out and try it if you're even the least bit interested in a mass appealing fragrance that doesn't really smell exactly like anything else that was released before. And so when that guy called it generic, I was kind of like, tell me what other fragrance this smells exactly like. Yes, there's pieces of it, but the thing is there's only so many ingredients you can use in fragrance, and they put a lot of different facets from woodiness to spice to iris to powder to sweetness, a little bit of fruitiness. They put that with an ambery overtone, and then they added some vetiver and they put that into one jar. And so I think the blend here is great. I think that it's not going to be like a Aqua de Joe hit, but I think it's going to be a mid-tier selling fragrance, and I think it smells really good. Is it overpriced? Yeah, but you'll find it for 130 or so down the road. So if you smell it, you like it, but you don't like it enough to pay 180, wait for a freaking discounter. So that's my opinion. My opinion is my opinion. It's my fucking channel. So if you don't like it, then. But if you do want to just at least take my opinion and run with it and go to the store, please do that. They are available at least in Altas right now. They'll show you online if they're available in a store here, a store near you. They come in 2.5 ounce right now. They most likely will release the larger versions like the ones I have behind me of the Parfum and the Intense. But who knows? I like the black gradient. Really, really cool. It's hard to take a picture of though. Um, with that said, mass appealing, Dior Homme. Smells like Pour Homme Intense if you added a little bit of sweetness underneath it and then amped up the woods and spice and added some vetiver with an ambery overtone, which Pour Homme Intense already has. So if you like Pour Homme Intense and you want a little bit of a sweetness under it, there you go. So with that said, that is Dior Homme Intense. Dior Homme Parfum 2021 5. I'm all over the place. Um, with that said, let me see what you guys are saying. I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom this time because I saw you guys kept going. But I will say MFK messed up his Sauvage release horribly. Yeah, I agree with that. See, I completely agree with that. All right. If I skip your comments, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. What's going on? What's up, Daddy? I think I do that every single time you come in. Absolutely agree, Marcus. I thought O Forte was awful. I agree it was awful. I don't like it at all. And it, like, even when you spray it on your hand, it does not look good. Was it really bad? No, I mean, it doesn't smell terrible, but it's just like it, for what the Sauvage line brings, it was terrible because it was a terrible release because you're looking at a top three, top two brand or like lineup of fragrances out there as far as designer fragrances, and might be the most popular designer brand lineup right now. And then you add that to it, that's the biggest issue. And then you also make it water, the milkiness to it. It just it's really a not a good addition to it. Some people might like it, but I haven't heard anybody say they actually like it, like love it. I've never heard a single person say that. Just because, I mean, I don't care if it's just milky looking, whatever, but I smelled it. It's spicy and woody, and it doesn't really make sense. That's my opinion. It just doesn't make sense to put it in that line. It doesn't smell terrible. It's like I gave it like a 6.5. It's a very, very average scent. There's nothing intriguing about it at all. Speaking of Jeff from SoCal Scents, I was mentioning you earlier about the Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, which I went out today and sprayed back on my hand again. Go follow Jeff at SoCal Scents if you haven't already. Oh, right, that's for traffic. Is it super powdery? It's not super powdery, no. They draw the powder. Let's just say, in comparison to the original Dior Homme, let's put the original Dior Homme Parfum at 100% powdery. This, I'm just putting that there just for perspective. This would probably be a 20 to 30%. So it still has a little bit of powder in there, but I'm not a big fan of powder, and I love this. So I would say there's still a little bit of a powdery facet to it because that's what you're going to get with an iris fragrance, even though the iris does fall off. But once you get to the dry down, the powder almost all but dissipates. So I wouldn't be too worried about the powdery aspect of it. That's mostly only the first few minutes is where it comes off powdery. Totally agree, dude. Dior Parfum 2025 is great. Don't feel like I need it. Even though I still prefer the OG, it would have less haters if they call it Dior Homme Noir or the Dior Homme Elixir or whatever. Yeah, I completely agree. They should have called it something different. You might like it. Who knows? Don't let me stop you from trying it. Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't for me. Which one are you talking about? The Dior Homme Parfum? Um, and everybody likes something different. So just because I don't like it or I like it doesn't mean you're going to. I think it smells so much better than the original. So many people dumb mad about the Dior Homme Parfum 25. It's so crazy how mad people are about it. There's nothing to be mad about with this fragrance. You already know that you're going to get a little bit of powder and iris. You know you're going to get that from that because you're in FragCom and you're not stupid. So you know what the scent is going to have pieces of. So if you went into it and you already hated those, then you're probably not going to like this. But that's if you actually hated. Like, because I know Jeff didn't like the other one, but it's not like he like despised it. And so he went into this with eyes wide open and he likes it. And same with me. And so I didn't like the parfum, but I like this parfum. It's just I like more mass appealing stuff. Somebody can. I mean, the guy today tried to act like me liking mass appealing things was a negative. It's not negative. I like mass appealing things. I like my wife to like things, and if she likes it, then cool. It's just an added bonus to things that I like. But I have to like it first. I have enough iris fragrances. Don't have ultra mall, so it sounds good to me. I try it out. I wouldn't blind buy it for 180, but definitely try it out. O Forte, aka Dior Juice Forte. See, a lot of people were going after that milkiness. And while the milkiness does suck, it does go away real quick, but it just does not look good, especially with the scent. Dior Parfum is great to me. I was lucky to check it out. It's different to me and uh, it's different and like how it performs. Yep, I agree. It's different from all the rest. They added something new. I think Francis Kirkjohn, I think, did a great job with this. He knew what was needed and he added it to it to make it mass appealing for the American market and for the rest of the like North American, South America, like the entire market that likes those semi-sweeter fragrances. It's going to be a good addition. I've ordered it, but I hated the earlier versions because of the lipstick iris. Yeah, I agree, Anthony. And this one does not have that. It's definitely doesn't have the lipstick iris. It's more down the road if you want to compare the iris style. Gentleman Boise or Prada L'Homme Intense. And I think actually Gentleman Boise's iris is actually a better interpretation of this now that I think of the sweetness from that. Now that I think of the sweetness from that, Gentleman Boise is a much better interpretation of this the style of iris fragrance this is. Because it has that sweetness under. Yeah, that's what I'm using for now on. My full review, Gentleman Boise, is the thing that I'm going for. It doesn't smell exactly like Gentleman Boise. It has its own thoughts to it, but like Gentleman Boise, I didn't even think about that until now, but it definitely has that Gentleman Boise smell to it, like the iris part of it. Apparently, you only get the iris for like the first ones. For me, it was about 45 minutes to an hour when it really started to become a background nuance. But I only wore it once. I'll let you know more in my full breakdown in a week or so. But yesterday, I did notice it was about 45 minutes to an hour when it was gone. Like in the background, it was still there slightly, but it was like you had to really put your nose into your hand to try to figure it out. Dior Parfum is going to appeal to more people than the original. Yeah, I agree. They'll make more money with the release. That's what they were aiming for. That's what they brought him in for. So while he failed with Sauvage Eau Forte, he definitely didn't fail with this one. Um, some guy in my comments was so mad about me talking positive about it, and he was like, "Yeah, same thing happened to me, Jeff. Right before you joined this, I was talking about how a guy came in and was talking about how it's generic. This sucks. I can't believe they did that." And I was like, I had to come at him and just be like, they're making it mass appealing for the American market. The other ones wouldn't have sold in the American market. And I think they tried at one point in time and they didn't. There's a reason why they're making it and they did a good job with it. So if you hate it, it's because you were a fanboy of the original or you're one of those people who are niche or like really like indie stuff like that. You like that style of fragrance, which isn't bad. It's just you don't people who usually don't like this kind of thing are the ones who call mass appealing fragrances generic and they group them all into one thing. I just never got that. Basically, if people blind smell that they like it, yep. All right. So before we get to the rest of the comments, we're going to get to the next one. This one I can just describe pretty easily. This is Gucci Guilty Love Edition. I can let me just put a little bit of a fine disclaimer under here. I have never owned a Gucci Guilty. I have came very close to owning Gucci Guilty Black, but I have liked almost every single Gucci Guilty, but not enough to buy a bottle. This came the closest to me wanting to buy it, but I still won't buy it. And there's a reason for that. So this fragrance really reminds me, and so, Jeff from SoCal Sense, he put it in my head as I was smelling it the first time 2 days ago. He said it kind of smells like a Smartie to me. And so I had to think, I was thinking he was saying sweet tarts at the point in time. But then if you think of Smarties, Smarties are a bit powdery. So it does make sense. It does have that almost candy like sweetness that you get from a Smartie, but then you have to blend that together with the powder. And the powder in that is very heavy, but the way that they blend together the sweetness, like that candy like Smartie like sweetness, together with the powder, it almost masks the powder at times. But for me, it's almost like it's just a touch too powdery, because then it starts to come from me just almost a bit like baby powder mixed with Smarties. And so it smells very nice. And my wife said that she likes it, doesn't love it. And so the same exact thing. She said it's almost like it smells like candy mixed together with like an old woman or something. And I was like, see, I don't get the old woman thing, but the baby powder, I get what you're saying. Um, so it's literally like a powdered Smartie with a little bit of a floral undertone. That is what the fragrance smells like. And when you get to the dry down, it really doesn't transition too drastically. It's almost like a little bit of like a vanilla tone or something comes in, but it's a bit fresh, definitely a little bit warmer. But it does, and I have to give it to Jeff. It does smell like a Smartie. It's just, are you overwhelmed by the amount of powder, or are you okay with the powder? You guys already know I am not the biggest fan of powder, and to me, this comes off a bit feminine. So I will not personally buy it, but I do recommend you at least giving it a shot, because for a lot of people who are okay with unisex for fragrances and you like powdery fragrances, you probably would like this. And it doesn't smell like any other designer I've ever smelled. If anything, this smells like one of the more like what you would call niche. It smells like something like that. And so they did a good job with doing that. And so it doesn't smell like a mass appealing designer that you would normally smell. So I think Gucci Guilty Love, I would probably give it a 7.5. Would I buy it? It's on the edge of it. I would have to wear it again and wear it again, but I'm most likely not going to, because my wife doesn't like, she would be okay if I wore it. It's just she's not going to get any joy out of me wearing it. And I'm trying to have sex. So it's like, I want to wear something that's getting me closer to that. So I mean, I can already wait for the comment section. I was like, should I say that or should I not? So that's Gucci Guilty Love edition. I think it's definitely very nice. It's something unique to the line. But again, powdered Smarties with a little floral undertone, maybe a little bit of like a vanillic tone, but it's slightly fresh, more leaning towards like fall, winter transitional seasons in my opinion. If I can get a decant at some point in time, I will, but I won't buy a bottle. Uh, any new Chanel, Dior, Armani going to be at least 150? People are going to be mad about the ADG Elixir pricing when that drops. Apparently, somebody already reviewed the ADG Elixir, and it's somebody that I've watched a review for before. I won't pay attention to that review, even though Mo's like, hey, I'm going to send you this video. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch it. I was like, I'm not going to watch it. And then, like, 2 hours later, he basically summarized everything the guy said and then texted it to me. I was like, Mo, you said I'm not going to spoil it, so don't watch it if you don't want to be spoiled, and then you spoiled it. But apparently, he doesn't like it. Like he said it was okay. It just doesn't bring anything special. That's what I heard. I'm not going to trust one guy. I'm still going to try it myself, but I'm definitely not going to go blind by an Armani Aqua di Gio elixir. just because they added two different things to it. I'm gonna try it out first, as most people should, especially for a fragrance that high, but fragrance that highly priced. But yes, you're right. I mean, most designer fragrances are $30 more than they were 2 years ago. So, if not 50. So you guys just need to deal with that. And if you want to save money, wait for a Sephora sale, a Macy's sale, because you will get 15% off, which will bring that down almost $30. Or wait for discounters in 3 months if you can wait. I mean, there's so many other fragrances out there. So then it gets discontinued, and then all of a sudden, poof, everyone likes it. Yep, that's the way things go all the time. Kind of like what is it? The biggest one there is Blue Electrique. That one I didn't hear a single person really talking about before it was discontinued. And if they did, it was just kind of like on a YSL video or whatever, but it was never nationally or it was never naturally spoken about by reviewers prior to its discontinuation. Then it was discontinued, and it was like it was the biggest letdown of everybody's life that YSL discontinued that fragrance. I don't understand it. It's that fragrance smells nice. It's not even the best in its own line. And people were going crazy over it. I get why some people might be disappointed, but why do people get angry? That doesn't make any sense. And Mark, if you only saw, because I mean, you guys might see like a little bit here and there. If you only saw the amount of hate that actually comes through on random videos, like years later, or even like the one that came out today, like there's a lot of different hate comments that come through, and it's like this person needs help or something. It's like we're talking about fragrances, and you're literally yelling at me. Like, and 2 days or 2 hours ago, I mean, Jeff from SoCal Sense, I mean, I swear he could create a collage that is like a mile long of comments that people were just dumb and mad. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are you so mad at me? I'm talking about a fluid that smells and giving my opinion. You don't have to be mad because I don't like something. Some people are just not comfortable in their own skin. I don't know if that's the case, but it's like just because I don't like something that you like, or because I smell something that you don't smell in it, doesn't mean that you got to get all angry. I mean, come on, man. Like, I swear, some people, if they had like a Thanos's gauntlet at that point in time, they would snap me out of existence because I talked bad about their fragrance. It just, I don't understand it. What are your thoughts on Givenchy Privé? It is my second least favorite in the line. I understand why some people hype that, but to me, that's a Jensen's fragrance. That's the kind of fragrance that if you are the kind of person that really likes those more masculine fragrances, that's the one in the line that you'd be rolling towards. But I never really understood the hype with it. I prefer Gentleman Boisé. I think that one is the best one in that line. I also like the EDT Intense, which I still don't find is talked about enough. It's a very simplistic, easy wear office scent. Those are my two favorite in the line. The Parfum's also very nice. But the Gentleman Privé, I bought that and then I returned it. I just wasn't a huge fan of it, and I just don't understand what the big hype was. But maybe it's just not my style. I didn't get a huge amount of booze or anything like that. Like I just or what was it? I can't. Yeah, I just was not a big fan of the Privé. Let's just put it that way. I do have to say the Society line's killing it though, so I'm really excited for Gentleman Society Ombre. That one looks really good. Especially after the Extreme last year. Uh, so Lazarus. So Wiley Parfum was discontinued. I did contact YSL. It was discontinued. I did say in my video, a lot of people were getting mad because they probably just didn't watch till the end. At the end, I said, so just like the YSL YEDT was discontinued and then it was re-released, the YSL Wiley Parfum most likely, or it could be, I'm not sure. I don't know. It could be re-released. It could be rebottled. I don't know. So that's probably what they are doing. But the thing is whenever they re-released and reformulated the EDT, it didn't smell as good. The EDT 2017 is better than the 2022 edition. And so that's why I made a video about it, is because the YSL Wiley Parfum, if they go and do a similar reformulation, I'm nervous that it's not going to be as good as the one that I have behind me. So that's why I wanted to make the video to let people know, just in case you wanted to go out and buy a bottle, it's probably the best time if you like the scent, because it might come back and you might not like it. Because I like the original EDT 2017 like miles better than the 2022 edition. Even though the 2022 edition is still good, it's not sweet and out acidic like the original. So that's why I made the video. But yes, I do it. I agree. It's probably going to be re-released. I've had people get mad and saying something is mass appealing. Yeah, that's, he thinks those fragrances suck, and I'm like, it's mass appealing. I mean, more people will think you smell good. Yeah, I don't understand. What are fragrances for? I mean, that's what we need to really talk about. What are fragrances actually for? They're supposed to be, at least since I was growing up, they were to be able to smell good. When you walk into a room, people notice you. That's the point of it. Go into a club, go wherever, you smell good. Or you get out of the shower and you want to still smell fresh. Then you, on top of the soapiness that you already smell like, you add something like YSL YEDT or something fresh and clean. You go into the office and you want to smell professional, you wear something professional. That's, to me, what fragrances are supposed to be worn for. But there are people nowadays that the fragrances are supposed to be worn. It's an art form. It's supposed to be this. It might not smell mass appealing. It might have that kind of funkiness to it, but that's the artistic part of it. I can't get into that. I can't get into fragrances that might not smell great, but they have this artistic form about them. Like, for instance, most zoologist fragrances can't get behind. I can understand what you're doing. I just can't get behind. Imaginary authors, bull's blood. No, can't get behind that. It's just, I can't get behind that kind of fragrance that I won't be able to wear in public ever. It's just, to me, that's what fragrances are for. But again, everybody has their own definitions. I'm not arguing if you have a different definition. Just don't fucking argue with me. That's all I'm asking. Have a fucking conversation. I think they named it Parfum to cause controversy, which leads to more sales. Yeah, you might be right, but I honestly think that Dior doesn't give two shits about what people say. That's just been my thoughts on Dior, probably. What are your thoughts on Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé? Oh, I was just answering that. Sorry if I didn't get to it quick enough, but just rewind like a minute. Could you wear this in an office setting, or will be out of place? Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely fine for the office. It's in that realm. I mean, it seems like it's more of the night out style of this DNA. Like Prada L'Homme Intense is more of an iris fragrance that you would wear more at night. With that said, could you wear Prada L'Homme Intense to the office? Yeah, absolutely. I think that this would be better worn at night, but could you wear it to the office? I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. It's not like something that's making my nose like, hey, this is so strong, or this is so potent, or this is overly sweet. It doesn't come off like that. This is a perfectly balanced fragrance that you could wear in almost any situation. I wouldn't wear it during the heat. Uh, they couldn't even release the OG DHP in America. Yeah, it's because it wasn't something people would like. Reserve Privé is 10 out of 10, amazing in my opinion, but hard to wear on regular daily use, date night, special occasion. That's how I feel about Boisé. But Reserve Privé just isn't my style. So for you, Lazarus, it is your style. So there you go. That's the conversation, and this is how we should have a conversation. Now, I can't believe you didn't like Reserve Privé. So this is how you have a fucking conversation. Right? Right. What do you think Paradise will be priced at? 400. I think it'll be 350, 375. And then on discounters, it will be 260 to 275. That's my opinion. That's my guess. I would say anywhere between 375 and 400, it's going to be its release. Because somebody brought to my attention, Killing Old Fashioned was like 325 or 350, and Angel Share is more popular, so it's going to be more expensive. So, and on discounters, Old Fashioned was 225, and so this one will probably be 275. So it's really expensive for a 50 milliliter. I don't know. 'Cause I'm not buying it now because my boy sent me two 15 milliliter decants. So with that said, go to scentrush.us, use code dude5, get yourself a 15 mil or a 2 milliliter decant, let's say, to try it out. It's $15. Just pay 15 bucks, get 2 milliliters, wear it a few times. If you end up liking it, then and at the end of that 2 milliliters in like a month, 2 months, maybe the price will be on discounters already. Uh, there's a Gucci Guilty limited release that I loved and I wish I could find it. It was a mint green colored bottle and it was glossy mint green. It was so good. Let's see. Uh, Gucci Guilty Pour Homme is a mint green, and then there's the Gucci Guilty Love is the only other one that I'm seeing that's green. I don't see any other green Gucci's that were out released. Or Gucci Guilty Cologne. There's Gucci Guilty Cologne that's like a green one. That could be it. I would just keep trying to research. Or it could be the original Gucci Guilty Love. That's what I was saying. Like that's what I was saying is it could be Gucci Guilty Love. I smelled the Gucci Guilty Love, and for some strange reason, I thought of Herba Pura. Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, I was gonna say no. It smells like powder and sweet tarts. That's or Smarties. It's 100% powder and Smarties. So yeah, holy crap, Randy. I already know where I'm at now. If I were being honest with ourselves, it's really about the sex. I told you I can't wait. Well, that's some honesty there. I mean, she knows it, so whatever. If I smell like Wanted by Night, I'm getting closer. But if I smell like Gucci Guilty Love, she'll pass me right by and go fold some laundry. Yeah. So I'm pretty far behind. Nothing special. So I'm gonna have to get to this. I want to watch some football, so I'm gonna get to the last fragrance. So this is the one that I was saving for last anyway. This is again the new Dolce Gabbana Devotion Pour Homme that I sprayed on the way home from my daughter's doctor appointment. And I sprayed it 2 days ago when I was on the phone with Jeff from SoCal Scents. I had to go to Von Mar. That's the only place that has them. It's kind of like a Nordstrom slash Macy's. And I didn't know anything about this fragrance until I knew about it. I just didn't put any stock into it. Again, there's two women's devotions and they're in the same bottle, so don't get it twisted. This is a gold colored fluid, gold encrusted bottle of devotion. It's called Pour Homme. And this, when you spray it on, you get hit with a nice tart lemon with an undertone of like espresso. And so when we're talking coffee, the coffee is here. You do get a little bit of like a green nuance underneath it from the patchouli, but it's very non-existent, especially in the opening. It has also this kind of like amber musky backbone, but as it starts to get like in the opening, I'm not like overly enjoyed about like the first like 30 seconds because the lemon's a little bit too tart for me there. But once it gets about, I'd say 45 seconds to a minute into the fragrance and that lemon starts to settle, you start to get this coffee pulling up. And once it gets further into the fragrance and further into the fragrance, the coffee really does settle in and the lemon starts to dissipate. But the cool thing about it is the lemon kind of just sits underneath the coffee and it gives it almost like a nice little twist of zest. And I really enjoyed about it. But it has this kind of like dark coffee. And the way that I can really put it, I thought at first it smelled like replica coffee break, and that's the way I was putting it, or maybe something like Polo Red Extreme, where that the coffee part of it, but it's a little bit darker, a little bit more of a roasted espresso. Um, and then you get a tad bit of lemon. Again, more lemon in the very opening. So when you smell it originally, when you first spray it, you're going to get a lot of lemon. But I mean, if you're looking for a really dark coffee fragrance that has this kind of slight amber musky backbone, this one's going to be it. it doesn't really have much else going on with it outside of when you get to the dry down. You do get a little bit of almost like a slightly chocolatey patchouli that really just works its way in, and it's still like only about 5% of the fragrance, nothing major, and a slight little woody tone that comes in. And there might be a little bit of spice, but I can't really tell what it is, so I'm not even going to add that in. If you're looking for like a really nice, and it doesn't seem like it's a synthetic, like horribly synthetic, like some Dolce and Gabbanas come off, or some designers do. It does seem like it's a higher quality fragrance. And so if you're looking for niche level quality, that you want a nice coffee fragrance, my cord just fell. If you're looking for a nice coffee fragrance, there we go. If you're looking for a nice, like darker coffee fragrance with a slight hint of lemon, especially for the first like 45 minutes to an hour, and then it kind of turns into you get like a backbone of Prada Black. It's really nice. It's might be one of my favorite designer coffee fragrances that has been released. I know some people are going to really not like that opening because of the lemon, but I think most people are going to find this fragrance, especially if you like coffee, you're going to like it. It's a simplistic fragrance. Again, nothing really changing drastically outside of the coffee just getting kind of like darker and more heavy. So if you want like a roasted espresso, that's what the fragrance smells like with a touch of lemon and then this kind of like amber musky backbone. It's a very nice, has a little bit of a creamy base. Very, very interesting fragrance. Very, um, I wouldn't say generic. It's just a very easy wear coffee fragrance. In my opinion, it's going to be a full bottle purchase for me. They didn't have a full bottle, and they didn't have a full bottle 2 days ago or today, and so I didn't pick it up yet. But I'm gonna probably wait till discounters because Dolce and Gabbana fragrances go on discounters pretty quickly. But I can say Dolce and Gabbana Devotion so far this year. This is I actually think I might like it better than the Dior Homme Parfum. I'm not sure about that yet because I have only worn it once and it wasn't even a full wearing. So I can't really judge it by that, but it's really down my style of fragrance. And so I would recommend do not look over the Dolce and Gabbana. Do not pass it up. At least give yourself a try with that fragrance because you might enjoy it, especially if you like coffee fragrances, designer coffee fragrances, even because it does have almost like if you took a designer fragrance and mix it together with like Acro Awake, one of those darker. I said that earlier. Acro Awake. It kind of like has that vibe. So it's not going to be for everybody, especially in the opening. But if you like simplistic coffee fragrances that are have a little bit more of a freshness and wearability to it, I would definitely try out Devotion Pour Homme. All right. I'm passing up a lot of comments because I want to go watch football. Nothing against all of you guys, but I like football and it's like halfway done. Jeff is pretty darn good. I'm 90% you'll really enjoy it. Doesn't okay. Somebody was saying something smelled like blockade earlier. Just remember the same people hating on the ADG elixir, the same ones that hate the new Dior Homme Parfum. The guy who did the review, apparently is someone who usually likes mass appealing fragrances. Again, I didn't watch it. I was just getting cliff notes from Mo. Apparently he didn't hate it. He just didn't love it. But I'm not 100% sure on that either. So I'm going to try it out for myself. So if you guys trust my opinion, then I'll give you my opinion when I find it. And I go now that it's January, I go every Friday with my wife to the store to see if there's any new releases. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on it. I wonder if there will be any newly banned ingredient for 2025 causing Wiley Parfum discontinuation. No, I think that they were. My guess is they're rebottling it for a refillable bottle, and while they're doing that, they're just reformulating it. Or I mean, it's just rumors right now. They might not even bring it back. I don't know 100%. I can't answer you. They responded to me on email is yes, it's discontinued in the United States. That's all I've heard. I was told by a regional rep the YSL Wiley Parfum is getting reformulated and re-released in a bottle that will look different too. Possible addition of vanilla as well. Well, if they're going to have to re-release it in a bottle that will look different, then they would have to discontinue all of them because they're not going to bring back the Le Parfum in a not uniform bottle to the rest of them. So my guess is that they're going to bring it back in a refillable same bottle. So same style bottle, but with a refillable cap. That's what my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't know for sure though. I should have thought about that before I made the video about how it was probably just going to be a refillable bottle, but who knows? Unpopular opinion, Altair has a lot of similarities to Most Wanted Parfum. I even had a coworker say Altair has a grape soda vibe. They're in the same realm. I said that in my video, King Elias. If you go back to my video from Altair from last year, I'm pretty sure I said it was kind of like a more powdery Most Wanted Parfum, and I like Most Wanted Parfum better, and it kind of has vibes of Club Black mixed together with Most Wanted Parfum. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Hey, Mickey Vargas, thank you so much. When did you get your love for Lacoste? I love Lacoste Pour Homme. Honestly, I don't really like have an affiliation. Like as far as I don't have an affliction, not affiliation. Thinking of affiliate, I don't have a affliction for Lacoste. It was kind of just I started wearing their fragrances. Lacoste Blanco Fraiche is one of my favorites, and so whenever I thought about rearranging my closet to add more designers. I already knew that Lacoste was not one of the $500 designers. They were more of like the good quality, lower cost. And so I went and started trying them out. And the thing is that I bought a polo this summer and it was the most comfortable polo that I've ever owned. And it was wrinkle free and it was like $60. And I was like, all right, cool. I bought a hat. The hat fit. Awesome. And then the winter, while I was looking for those, I saw this, and this was in the summer. So I was like, when the winter comes, I want to buy this sweater. And then I bought it, and it was a half off sale for $70. And I got this, and it's the most comfortable, warmest sweater I've ever owned in my entire life. And so I got a matching hat. I found the blue version of this, the forest green version of this. My wife then bought me a hoodie for Christmas, and so it wasn't really like I fell in love with Lacoste. Just it was just I started buying some things and they just turned out to be the best articles of clothing I've ever worn in my life as far as like comfortability and stuff. So no like actually affliction that I was like, oh, I love Lacoste and I'm sticking Lacoste. Like I have loyalty to the brand now. It's just I found some clothing items and they just turned out to be the best ones I've ever owned. So I would recommend if anybody ever sees this sweater and you like this sweater, go buy this sweater. It is the most comfortable, the warmest, and has the like. It's the best sweater that I've ever worn in my life. It feels like a $500 sweater, and it's like $60. Now I'm advertising for Lacoste. But thank you for the donation, Mickey. I really appreciate it. And Ross, tip your host. Thank you so much, man. We were actually just talking about you. It seems like we always do that. I'm talking about you. You come in, and then you're talking about me, and then I come in. It seems like that always happens. I don't remember what we were even saying, but it was about your live stream. How it usually ends at like 7:45, but I was just like, I'm just gonna go. But thank you for the $10 donation. Tip your host. Thank you guys so much. Even though I'm going to go watch football here in a second. One of the reasons I like both Rainy and Jeff's channels is because they approach fragrances from a real world perspective and also call out bullshit. Well, that you pretty much summed up my channel. That's pretty much it. I like mass appealing fragrances. I want things to smell good, and I want other people to smell them and say, hey, that smells good. And if somebody's like, ooh, this one that is like dark and rose and oud and it has a little funk to it, you should wear that, like, and go out with your wife. And it's like, you're lying. That's not the way things work nowadays. Is Homme Intense 2025 being reformulated? Dior Homme Intense 2025? I don't know. Or Kenzo Homme Intense? I don't, because there is no Dior Homme Intense 2025. There's only the Dior Homme Parfum. I don't know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, Joe. Because there is no Dior Homme Intense 2025 or Kenzo Homme Intense 2025. So I'm not exactly sure which one you're talking about. If from what I know, is the Dior Homme Parfum wasn't really a reformulation. It was just MFK's version of it, and they just called it 2025. Which honestly, the Parfum name was wrong. They shouldn't have called it Parfum. I've worn mass appealing scents, but for most people in the world, in the United States especially, they don't even know Dior Homme Parfum exists outside of this one. And so to them, this is the Parfum. And so I understand why they called it Parfum. It's because that's what the concentration is. I've worn mass appealing scents and no one notices comments. Then I wore unknown cheapy or hype scents and people love it and compliment it. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on where you're around, what fragrances work best with your skin chemistry. It all depends on what works for you. And just for me, mass appealing scents always work. Lacoste Pour Homme is slept on. Yeah, it is slept on. The Lacoste original from last year sucked though. It was really bad. Oh, I was wondering on my side of it, it looks just like a square, but it's an emoji because I'm doing it on a computer, and this computer's from 2013. All right, I need to get past some of them. There's Mo. Welcome to Mo's. I didn't do that today. Thank you for the $5 donation. Let it be known, Newt can't touch Diz. You are always gonna go at Newt. Now we have a new one in. Joel is now officially a moderator as of today, so he joined the likes of Mo, Hamzat, Newt, and Jeff. Um, it's a darker, more roasted coffee. It has they'll talk about the Dolce Gabbana Devotion. It's a darker, more roasted coffee and doesn't have the cranberry or anything like that. And then it also has this lemony top that kind of like becomes a little bit of zesty undertone as you get further into the fragrance. And then it kind of has this like amber musky base as you get to the dry down. So it doesn't really smell like Polar Red Extreme, but it's down that road of like to me it has almost like a dark coffee Prada black mixture style with a little bit of lemon, but I can see where Polar Red Extreme, where some people would be adding that in because it does have a little bit of creaminess to it as well. So I can see that. It doesn't come off straight like Polar Red Extreme to me, no. But if you like Polar Red Extreme, I would try it out. uh Devotion, Pour Homme, smelled it and like it. We'll get a full bottle when it hits discounters. Exactly the way I think too. Quick question before you jump off for football. Any similarities between Devotion and Green Extravagant? Nope. I saw that. Somebody asked me that the other day, 2 days ago, like right after I tried it. And so I was like, why is somebody comparing it? They were like, well, it's on Fragrantica, apparently. That it's like the number one most compared fragrance is Green Extravaganza. It smells nothing like Green Extravaganza. Like not even a minuscule amount. I don't like Green Extravaganza, and Devotion smells nothing like it. And so I don't know where somebody got that to add that, but it's also very early, so who knows? Fragrance World Double Espresso Coffee on steroids, but I love it. Oh, there goes my cord again. I got to get this iPhone 16 set up better next time, so you guys don't have 2 minutes of me not being able to talk. See, it's doing this again. I'm going to look that one up on JCB. The Fragrance World Double Espresso. I'm still waiting on Dior Homme Elixir, Absolute, Le Parfum Extreme, and Overreach. They're probably going to end up doing something at some point in time with like probably another sport at some point in time, another cologne at some point in time. But yeah, probably going to get a lot of those. We just got to sit back and enjoy it. You would think last year would have been great because they had like everybody was looking for YSL Elixir, a new Dior, a new Versace, and then they all came out and it was just like underwhelming. And it's just like we all waited so many years for all of those releases, and then they all came out and they were just like, yeah, could have been better. All right. So I just want to make sure there's no other donations. There is not. So to summarize everything that I talked about, Dior Homme Parfum 2025. It smells great. It's a mass appealing Dior Homme. Doesn't smell like the Dior Homme Parfum at all. It's more kind of like Gentleman Boisé or Prada L'Homme Intense. If you added like a little bit of sweetness, like I said, like Ultra Mall underneath it, it gets a bit more woody and spicy in the dry down with a touch of vetiver. Very beautiful fragrance. I think it's going to sell great. Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, Pour Homme. Don't get it confused with the women's one. It's a really nice coffee fragrance. And then also Gucci Guilty Love Edition. It smells like a ton of powder with Smarties. And so it is sweet, but at the same time powdery. Some people will like it. I don't think it's full bottle worthy. And then Angel Share Paradise. It's not as tropical as what I thought the first time I wore it, but it is a very good fragrance. The raspberry definitely shines. And then you do get a little bit of a tropical vibe. It's aptly named, and I think it's very good. It's a really nice addition. I still like the original better, but if you like the original Angel Share, you should definitely give it a shot. But then I just saw right before we were ending, the Novice Knows, one of my members. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I really appreciate it, man. What's going on, man? Send the Days Mancera Intense Red Tobacco. For FYI, I got Moonlight on the way in a decan. Gotta check it out since you gave such high praise. Moonlight. Are you thinking of me when it comes to Moonlight? Because I don't think I've ever tried Moonlight. I think you might be thinking of another reviewer because I've never actually tried Moonlight. I don't even know what Moonlight is. I think I do, but I don't think I've ever tried Moonlight. But anyway, thank you for the $10 donation. I really, really appreciate it. With that said, Mancera Intense Red Tobacco is really good. But I'm going to go watch some football. So thank you to Ross, the Novice Knows, and Mo, and there was one more. Mickey Vargas for all the donations. I really appreciate them. Goes right back into the channel. And I wanted to go and do some videos. I already have 3 other videos recorded. Again, I am back. So all of my videos are coming out. I posted one today for you guys early so that you'd have the first impression. So I'll post one tomorrow, but probably not Wednesday. But I am back 5 days a week, baby. We're doing it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday's my day off. Monday's my day to record and do live streams. We are back 100%. So you're going to get more to dude all the time. I'm back. So that's it. I was sick and tired of being out of the fragrance community and just kind of like doing my own thing, but I'm back. I'm happy to be back. And so let's go watch some football. If you guys aren't watching football, then get some sleep. Hopefully you guys have a great night, and I will check you on the next one. Again, thanks for all the donations. I appreciate you. Peace.